Hi, it's Mo. Just getting comfortable here. Thank you for being here. I got the Juvia's Place Nomad palette yesterday, and I thought we'd take a look. So this is the outer packaging. For some reason, the iridescent holographic thing on there just like adds a little punch. That's a bit unexpected. I did order it from Juvia's Place website. The palette itself is $15 and shipping was $4.50, so total of $19.50. Shipping was very good in terms of it was well packaged. It came quickly because this is the first time I've actually purchased Juvia's Place from the Juvia's Place website. I usually purchase from the Ulta website. So then when you open the box, the palette is on the inside wrapped in bubble wrap, which I always appreciate. I like my shadows to be well taken care of. And then the packaging on the inside, on the actual palette, obviously the same as the box, which I was so happy about because I love that box. And I was really hoping that the palette would have the same packaging, which obviously it does. I just think it's so pretty. I have it on my eyes today, and I'll tell you what I used, and I thought let's do some swatches and just look it over and give you some of the details. And here we go. There is no mirror, which is pretty common for Juvia's Place. I'm gonna move the clear sheet. Am I the only person who likes these? Most people are like, I throw that away, I don't use it. I always keep mine with my palettes to keep my palettes like clean and keep this part clean, and then if this gets dirty, I can just wipe it off. But I feel like everybody else throws them away. I keep mine. Here are the shades. There are 9 shades, as you can see, and the total weight is 18.9 grams. So that means each pan is 2.1 grams, which is pretty big. For example, in a color pop palette, those shadows are typically about 1 gram. So that's a pretty good indicator that these are, twice as much as a ColourPop shadow pan in a palette, just to give you kind of an idea of how large they are. So they're a large size. What's interesting is this is not the same size as the typical big 9-pan palettes from Juvia's Place. This is actually smaller than like the original Warrior palette and the new Warrior 3 palette. These pans are somewhat smaller. In fact, I think this is just a great size. I don't know why I never realized this before about Juvia's Place, but there are no individual shade names. They're just, these are the colors. I thought we would swatch, and why don't we do it? I think we're gonna go down, 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 and down. So let's start here with this kind of mustardy shade, and then this one is, it's not orange, it's kind of an orange brown, I would say. And this one's interesting. It's almost I'd call it almost a malt color, and it has just the tiniest bit of sparkles in it, but not like in an annoying way. Does that make sense? I'm gonna do them over here. So there's kind of the mustard and the orange brown, and there's that kind of malt shade I mentioned. I'm gonna put a little more of that on because it's matching my skin, so I'm not sure if you're getting much of that. Probably not. Anyway, those are the first 3, and then we're gonna go down the middle row. And as I've said before, I like to do live swatches because then you can see exactly how much I'm picking up. You can see exactly, kind of how I'm laying them down. I'm not doing anything unusual or magical. These are the next 3. A little flare on that swatch. This one, I don't feel like this one's coming off on camera as lovely as it is. In fact, that's what I have right here on my eye today, is that shade. It's really, really pretty. I know the swatch is kind of nuts, but I secretly kind of like it. I'll pretend that was artistic. So that's the middle row. And then we'll do the final column, I should say, the final column here, which is kind of an evergreen. I would say this is a matte. And then this is another shimmer. Oh, these shimmers feel so nice. And this is a lovely, I would call this an olive green with the hint of topaz, which is like actually one of my favorite colors, which is, I'm sure, one of the reasons I was drawn to this palette. So there's kind of the deep evergreen, there's the shimmer, and here is that, it's like an olive topaz. And again, this is a matte. Not sure that came off very well. Let me do a little more here. Now that one, swatching a touch patchy, I would say. That's the only one that swatched a little patchy. So we'll see. And I have not used that one yet. So there's 5 mattes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there are 2 shimmers. I would call these shimmers. I mean, you can see that in the light. Those are both shimmery. And then these 2 have the slightest sprinkling of, I'm hesitant to even call it glitter. I don't think it's picking up just slightly if I really hit the light right, that you can see there's just a tiny sprinkle of glitter in these, but it's not hard. I don't feel it when I swatch the color at all. And I'm not really sure that's going to translate on the eye. In fact, this color I used to blend with today and it did not translate on the eye. I'm okay with that. I'm not looking for glitter. The shimmers are great, but I'm fine with those just coming off on the eye as a matte shade. Oh, I should tell you what I have on my eyes, shouldn't I? So this morning I got ready very quickly, as I always do, and I tried this as a transition color, but it really was more yellow than I anticipated. It wasn't as mustardy as it looks to me in the pan. So I put that kind of in the crease, probably a touch more yellow than I wanted, so I added this shade into the crease. And then after that, I put this beautiful shade all over the lid, and then I blended out basically the transition area up to my brow bone with this color. And that's all I did on my eyes today. You can obviously see how it looks. And this is 11 hours later. So the longevity of the shadows is great. I used the CoverGirl Lid Locket as my primer. And I, so far, really like it. I mean, I love the color story. I love the little bits of surprise. Like I said, this olive that slightly leans topaz. It's got just a slightly grungy vibe. But still, it's really workable, and it just, to me, it just screams fall. Like, I love it. I think this is a really, really cool palette, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to see it and see swatches. Juvia's Place traditionally has really, really good quality shadows. I think when you compare it to the pricing of other shadows, I think it's completely fair. If not, sometimes you're like, shouldn't this be more expensive? Because it's really good. That's how I feel about it anyway. And then on the rest of my face today, I got another one of the MAC Love Me lipsticks. These are the best formula. They might be my favorite lipsticks. I don't know. I want to say of all time. That's a pretty broad statement. But I really, 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 really like this formula because it's so lightweight, but it's one swipe coverage. This one is under the covers, which is a bit warmer than the other ones I have, and I have it on my lips. I just reapplied that before the video, although I did put it on this morning and it lasted a long time. And then this morning I had kind of a happy accident. I grabbed the wrong blush. I had intended to grab this one, the MAC Party, which is kind of my neutral go-to. I don't wear a lot of neutral blush, but this is about as close as I get. And I just grabbed the wrong one. I haven't worn this literally in years. It's the MAC Exposed, which is more neutral. And I put it on and I'm like, oh, I like this color so much, thinking it was the other one, and I'm like, wait, this is Exposed. I do like this color, because this was all the rage, you know, years ago on YouTube. Like, everybody had to have Tarte Exposed. Did I say MAC? Tarte. And now I tried it again, and I'm like, oh, rediscovered, I love you. And then if this is your kind of thing, I believe on Friday of this week, so Friday the September 13th, Ulta has the Amazonian clay blushes 50% off in the 21 Days of Beauty. So if that interests you, something to keep in mind. That's it. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking about makeup with me. I absolutely love this stuff, and I really appreciate your time. I hope you're having a good day, and I will talk to you soon.